Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to have a look at the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards by Michelle Motuzas and the Empathic Oracle by Michelle and Steve Wilson. Let's get started by talking about the cards, and we'll come back to the boxes later, but I just wanted to show you them so you knew which two decks that we're going to talk about today. These are the cards for the Shamanic Healing Oracle cards with the hand on the back. These cards have a black frame on the back of the card and the front. As well, on the back of the cards is the title of the deck, Shamanic Healing Oracle. It is in a very faint gold lettering, so it's not something that really stands out and gets in the way. I know a lot of people don't like to see the copyrights, and they don't like to see the deck titles on the cards and so forth, but it really isn't intrusive in any way. This is a glossy card deck. And this deck has 44 cards. And I'm just going to turn it over and I'm going to grab the other deck. So you'll see this deck, as well as the Empathic Oracle, does have gold edges. And it is the same, it's the same gold, so it's shiny. And this one is newer for me, so I'm just looking to see how this is held up. It's quite worn on the corners. On some corners more than others. The Empathic Oracle has blue edges on the back and the front, and so there's no title on this one, so the artwork is balanced top and bottom. This deck is not reversible because you can see there's 5 of these little triangles here. Neither is the one because the hand goes in one direction. Okay. I said this one has 44 cards. The other one has 12 more cards, so 56 cards in total. And I will share with you a bit of stuff from the guidebook as well. Before we have a look at the individual cards, each card does have a number on both decks. So 28, 43, and then there is a keyword or keywords for each of the cards. And then there is this same, I believe it's almost the same. It's hard to tell because this one is a little more challenging to see. Decorative art above the keyword. And we have an inside border too. So if you were to trim these, you would have to decide whether to include that inside border or not. But I really like the keywords on both of these decks. This one is glossy, as I said. This one is matte, and it's a lovely, lovely cardstock. Both of these decks are in that cute little red feather shiffer box with the ribbon that keeps the lid closed, and it does have a magnetic closing. So it's awesome boxes for the decks. Yeah, I find that the keywords on this deck are actually really challenging to read. So right now I am in full daylight with a lamp overhead and I can see them. But if it was a few hours later, I would not be able to see these without a super bright light on the table, which sometimes is a bit of a problem. So we're going to go through the cards really quickly, and I will read the ones on the right just in case you can't see them. So the first card is Letting Go. It's all good. For some reason, this one is easier to see. I don't know if the font is different on some of the cards. It's strange. I actually really like this moon card. And so one of the things I want you to look at is the energy difference between the two decks. So that's Discernment, Retreat. And the font is definitely different on the two decks. Timeline and New Beginnings. I have not put these in any particular order. Water and Psychic Development. Your Story and Integration. Pedestal, Slow but Steady. Throat Chakra and Forgiveness. That's really interesting. I swear I did not put these in any order. Autumn and Death. There's another really good pair. Phases. That's a lovely card. And Perception. Third Eye Chakra and Anger. The Sun and Changes. Something funny is going on here. Look, it looks like we have two sun cards, Earth and Home. So what I'm noticing is on some of the cards, the lettering shows up a lot better than on others. That's really funny. Creativity on the right and mountains on the left. Winter and duality. Hero and self-love. Non-duality. So we have a pair. And it's something I could have done for you too, like pulled out all the chakra cards and pulled out the ones that come in pairs. So where was the duality card? Sorry, I should have done that. Maybe it was on the other deck. It was on the other deck. Duality and non-duality. Burden and desert. Sacral chakra and divine timing. It's a really beautiful card. Specialness and joy. Open heart and ascension. Manifestation and new day. Reunion of souls and solar plexus chakra. Spring and healing energy. Past and struggle. Validation and ancient wisdom. Honoring your energy and fire. Future and unlimited possibilities. Chameleon and omens. Chaos and transformation. Light at the end of the tunnel and stripping illusions. Purity and abundance. Summer and grounding. Heart chakra and masculine energy. Crown chakra and feminine energy. Adversity, past, present, and future. Root chakra and sexual energy. Sacred space and authenticity. Emotional release and surrender. There's another really good pair. This is one of my favorite colors in this deck. I love this rich purple color. Truth and beginnings. Teaching and resistance. Gates and growth. Holiday. Wow, look at how these two cards kind of mirror each other. Holiday and inner journey. Direction. Movement into balance. Okay, so this deck is done. So I'm just going to move a few of these over. So the deck on the right, the deck with the black border, is called Shamanic Healing Oracle. That term applies in many ways to both decks. Here we have a wheel, which is one of the practices it is a shamanic practice. So this is stardust and direction. Clearing and entanglement. There's some similar cards in this deck. Remember we had the chaos card. So you have chaos and entanglement, which is, I suppose, a little different energy. Gaslighting and focus. Shielding and strength. containers and present, balance, and crowd surfing. So there you go. There are all of the cards. So the purpose of this video is to talk about the differences between the two decks. One of the things that I love as somebody who loves shuffling is I love the sound of this matte cardstock. I'll just see if you can, I don't know if you can, it's, you know that sound that you get? It's so beautiful. Both of the decks riffle shuffle beautifully. So you can overhand, looking at the candles, or riffle shuffle either of these decks. So that is, that goes really well for both of the decks. The guidebooks. So here is the Shamanic Healing Oracle guidebook. So they fit neatly inside the little boxes. And they're really, really well done. The binding is great. This one has shiny pages. This one has matte pages, which is really funny. The deck with glossy cards has matte pages. The deck with matte cards has glossy pages in the book. So in this book, you get a mini card, but it is full color. And then in the Shamanic Healing book, I'm hoping you can get all this into the frame, yes, is on a separate page, and it's a little bit larger, right? I find that the text is fleshed out a little bit more in the newer deck. So the Empathic Oracle came out in 2018. The Shamanic Healing Oracle cards came out in 2016. There's a little bit more of a system to this deck in that we have chakra cards there. If you want to see a full walkthrough of this and a little more analysis, you can go to another video, and I'll put a card up above because I've done that for this deck. So you have chakra, 7 chakra cards, you have element cards, there's season cards, and the remainder of the cards are divided into external and internal awareness. And the whole idea with this deck is to work with the concept of the empath. And if I was to say what is the main difference between these two decks, they're both energetic, big energy decks. If you like working with energy, either of these decks do a really good job in that department. So what's the difference? This one is more about managing energy. And I think the creators, so Steve Wilson and Michelle Motuzas in the guidebook, do a really good job in talking about managing energy as an empath. And so that is one way to use this deck, is to heal any anxieties around being an empath, to perhaps amp up your work as an empath, to understand what it means to be an empath and all of that. But that's not the only way to use this deck. This deck is just a beautiful oracle deck with powerful, energetic cards. Sorry, I just bumped the tripod. And so the cards and the little book go neatly into the box. And these boxes have a little bit of magnetic closure, so they do stay closed, and they stack really nicely. I have a few of these little shiffer boxes, and I love how they stack on my shelf. So yeah, so those are the basic differences between these two decks, which are very similar. If I had to choose one deck over the other, I'd probably choose the Empathic because you get 12 more cards. And I do prefer the blue borders as opposed to the black borders. I really like the card backs, these ones here. I love these card backs. And I suppose the whole sensory experience with this deck just resonates with me a lot more. So yeah, so those in a nutshell are the differences between Michelle Motuzas' two decks. Thanks for watching. Stay well, my friends. Namaste.